On October 16, 2024, the U.S. military escalated its confrontation with Yemen's Houthi rebels in dramatic fashion. The world watched as tensions in the Middle East reached a boiling point, with the United States determined to protect global shipping lanes and assert its dominance in the region. The decision to act was not made lightly, but mounting attacks on commercial vessels and American interests left Washington with little choice. For the first time, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber was unleashed over Yemen, targeting deeply buried fortified weapons storage sites. The B-2, renowned for its ability to evade radar and deliver devastating payloads, was chosen specifically for its unique capabilities. Its mission, to strike at the very heart of the Houthi arsenal, where conventional airstrikes had failed. This was a solo American operation, authorized by President Biden, signaling a new level of seriousness in countering Houthi attacks on global shipping. The president's decision underscored the gravity of the threat and the willingness of the U.S. to act decisively, even if it meant going it alone. Military planners worked around the clock, coordinating every detail to ensure the mission's success. The B-2S struck targets that had survived previous attacks, demonstrating that no bunker was safe from American air power. The precision of the strikes sent a clear message. The U.S. possessed the technology and resolve to reach even the most protected enemy positions. Explosions lit up the desert night, marking the destruction of critical Houthi infrastructure. The bombers appeared as ghosts, delivered their payload with precision, and vanished into the night. Their stealthy approach left adversaries guessing, unable to anticipate or defend against the attack. For those on the ground, the B-2's presence was felt only in the aftermath, devastation and confusion. The world took notice. This was a shift from defense to offense, aiming to destroy the source of Houthi attacks. News outlets across the globe reported on the operation, and analysts debated its implications for the balance of power in the Middle East. Shipping companies, long plagued by uncertainty, saw a glimmer of hope for safer passage through the Red Sea. The message was clear. American patience had run out, and its reach was unmatched. The deployment of the B-2 was not just a show of force but a warning to adversaries everywhere. The U.S. would not hesitate to use its most advanced weapons to protect its interests and allies. The B-2's deployment was a calculated move, sending shockwaves far beyond Yemen's borders. In capitals around the world, leaders watched closely, weighing their own positions and alliances. The operation demonstrated not only American military might but also its willingness to act unilaterally when necessary. The implications for the region and for Tehran were immediate and profound. Iran, a key backer of the Houthis, now faced a stark reminder of American resolve. The strike reverberated through diplomatic circles, raising urgent questions about the future of regional stability and the potential for further escalation. The B-2 Spirit is the ultimate symbol of American stealth and global strike power. Its flying wing design and radar-absorbent materials make it nearly invisible to enemy defenses. Capable of flying from Missouri to anywhere in the world and back, the B-2 can deliver up to 40,000 pounds of bombs, including nuclear weapons, without ever landing abroad. Only a handful exist, each costing over $1 billion, reserved for the most critical missions. Its presence signals the highest level of American intent. The B-2 is designed to strike the world's most heavily defended targets with overwhelming force and pinpoint accuracy. In modern warfare, it is the ghost that adversaries fear but never see. In the early hours before dawn, the B-2 Spirits began their engines at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, preparing for a mission that would span continents and test the limits of modern air power. These bombers, shrouded in secrecy and advanced technology, were about to embark on a journey that few aircraft in history could match. Their flight path took them over the vast Atlantic Ocean, across the skies of Europe, and onward to the Middle East, a grueling 30-hour round trip. To make this possible, the B-2S were refueled mid-air several times, linking up with tanker aircraft in a delicate ballet thousands of feet above the ground. This extraordinary global reach meant the United States could project power directly from its own soil, bypassing the need for vulnerable forward bases and maintaining the element of total surprise. The B-2's stealth allowed it to slip past enemy defenses undetected, striking targets that believed themselves untouchable. The mission's objective was clear and ambitious: destroy 5 underground Houthi weapons bunkers, each one heavily fortified and designed to withstand conventional attacks. These were not ordinary targets. they were buried deep, protected by layers of concrete and earth. Inside these bunkers, the Houthis stored a deadly arsenal of Iranian-supplied missiles and drones. These weapons formed the backbone of their threat to international shipping lanes, endangering both military and civilian vessels in the region. By reaching these hardened sites, the B-2s demonstrated that even the most secure fortresses were vulnerable to American air power. No bunker was truly safe from a bomber that could travel halfway around the world undetected. The destruction of these bunkers was intended to cripple the Houthis' offensive capabilities at their very source, sending a clear message to those who threaten global security. The long, secretive flight ensured there was no buildup, no warning, just sudden, overwhelming devastation delivered with pinpoint accuracy. This operation showcased not only the B-2's unmatched endurance and precision, but also the skill and dedication of its crew, who navigated across continents and executed their mission flawlessly. When the dust settled, the Houthis were left stunned. They had no idea what hit them until it was over, their most secure sites reduced to rubble in a matter of moments. With the arrival of America's most powerful bomber, the rules of engagement had changed, and the world had witnessed the true meaning of global reach. The 5 targeted bunkers were the heart of the Houthi arsenal, deep, reinforced, and built to survive anything but the most powerful strikes. Inside, the Houthis stored ballistic missiles, anti-ship weapons, and attack drones used to threaten global shipping. These bunkers allowed the rebels to rearm and launch new attacks, despite repeated US and allied defenses. As long as these sites stood, the threat persisted. The US realized that intercepting missiles wasn't enough. The source had to be destroyed. The October 16th mission aimed to break the cycle by eliminating the Houthis' ability to wage long-term war. The message, no sanctuary, no matter how deep or fortified. Destroying these bunkers was about more than damage, it was about changing the course of the conflict. The Houthis' core strategy was now under direct assault. The B-2 was chosen because nothing else could guarantee success against Yemen's deeply buried bunkers. Standard fighter jets lacked the power to penetrate such hardened targets. The B-2 alone can carry the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator or the advanced GBU-72, bombs designed to shatter hundreds of feet of concrete. Its stealth allowed it to evade Houthi and Iranian-backed air defenses, striking undetected. A conventional raid would have required a massive, vulnerable support force. The B-2 combined global range, stealth, and bunker-busting power in one platform. No other aircraft in the world could do this job. The mission was a testament to the B-2's unique capabilities and America's resolve. After the strikes, Washington's message was clear and deliberate. This was a necessary, proportionate response to Houthi aggression. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin emphasized the precision and restraint of the operation, highlighting the B-2's unique ability to destroy deeply buried threats. The Pentagon stressed that only legitimate military targets were hit, with no civilian casualties reported. The strikes were framed as a warning. Continued attacks on shipping would bring even harsher consequences. The B-2's use was a powerful form of armed diplomacy, signaling a major escalation. The US demonstrated both the technology and the will to eliminate threats, no matter how well hidden. The hope to deter further Houthi and Iranian escalation. The world was put on notice. America's ladder of escalation had just taken a major step up. The Houthi response was swift and defiant. Through their media, they condemned the strikes as American aggression and vowed revenge. They denied any significant damage, projecting resilience and promising to intensify attacks on US and Israeli-linked shipping. Admitting losses would undermine their image, so they offered few details about the true impact. Their rhetoric rallied supporters and reassured Iran of their resolve. By promising retaliation, the Houthis aimed to show they would not be intimidated. The B-2 strikes, far from ending the conflict, had opened a new, more dangerous phase. The B-2 strikes were the result of a year of escalating regional tensions. The Houthis, citing solidarity with Gaza, had launched waves of attacks on global shipping, threatening a vital trade route. Their campaign grew bolder, culminating in direct assaults on US Navy ships. Meanwhile, the region was on edge. Israel and Iran were on the brink, and Iran had just launched missiles at Israel. The B-2 operation was a message to both the Houthis and Tehran. America could and would strike back anywhere, anytime. The strikes were a calculated move to re-establish deterrence across the Middle East. The US aimed to punish recklessness and warn Iran to rein in its proxies. On the grand chessboard of the region, the B-2 was America's boldest move yet. The B-2's deployment marked a pivotal turning point in both Yemen and the broader US Middle East policy. For years, American strategy in the region had been defined by caution and containment, but the arrival of the B-2 signaled a new era, one where the US was willing to project overwhelming power, even in the most challenging environments. The US shifted from a primarily defensive posture to a bold offensive strategy, aiming to dismantle threats before they could ever materialize. This proactive approach was designed not just to neutralize immediate dangers, but to deter future adversaries from even considering hostile actions. The precision strikes delivered by the B-2 sent a message that resonated far beyond Yemen's borders. There are no safe havens for those who threaten American interests, and US resolve remains unshakable, regardless of the terrain or the adversary. Yet, the future remains deeply uncertain. The Houthis have proven themselves to be resilient and resourceful, adapting quickly to new challenges. Their continued defiance suggests that the cycle of violence may not be easily broken, and further confrontations could be on the horizon. The risk of escalation is very real. With each side feeling pressure to respond, the stakes are higher than ever, and the potential for miscalculation grows with every passing day. The region teeters on the edge of a tit-for-tat conflict, where each strike could provoke another, and the specter of a wider war looms constantly in the background. The legacy of the B-2's first mission over Yemen will ultimately be shaped by what unfolds in the days and weeks ahead. Will it be remembered as a decisive act that restored order, or as the spark that ignited a larger conflagration? One thing is certain, the rules of engagement have changed, and America's adversaries have been put on notice. The world is watching, and every move now carries greater weight. The question remains, will this dramatic show of force bring about a fragile stability, or will it plunge the region into a new and unpredictable phase of conflict? For the people living under these skies, the answer is anything but clear. The ghost bomber has made its move. Now the world holds its breath, waiting to see what the next chapter in this unfolding story will bring.